Hello. My name's Dave, and it's a day of particular unimportance, really, because I woke up and missed everything I was supposed to do today, and I basically just sat here and I just kicked the tripod, but I basically just sat here and done nothing all day. So I decided to create a little story for the world to see. Let's go. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a blue duck. He was a blue duck, and he didn't have a name. He just went by the name of the Blue Duck, okay? Now, you've got that in your heads. Remember that, because he's the main character of the story of the Blue Duck. Cool. And the Blue Duck lived in this place called the Big Red Pond. It wasn't really red, that was just the name of it, you know, like the Red Sea, that sort of thing. It was just a big pond. The interesting thing about it is, though, it's on a big cloud. It's like up in the sky, it's a big cloud, and the blue duck like lives up there, and it's like a magical land, and there's all kind of, you know, there's dogs and stuff like that, magical creatures, you know, cats. Maybe a unicorn every now and then. It's never griffins. You don't see griffins anywhere. Griffins aren't good. You don't want to talk to a griffin because a griffin's got nothing good to say, really. Griffins are basically too regal to talk to you. If you talk to a griffin, you will get shat on, basically. Not literally, but, you know, in terms of society. He uses, like, you know, they're very aloof, griffins, basically. They don't like to talk with the lower class. They're very bourgeois. They're right dicks, really. But yeah, that's nothing to do with what I'm saying. The blue duck lives in the Big Red Pond, and every day he spends his days, you know, protecting the world from bad guys such as the evil red duck, you know, Larry the angry swan, you know, the old farmer from down the road, stuff like that. And he's got a mate with him called Wobble, who's a plastic duck. He's a wobbly little plastic duck who swims around, but he doesn't. I mean, he's kind of brought to life through the magic of the Big Red Pond. And basically, Wobble gets into all sorts of danger, and the blue duck basically saves Wobble from all this kind of crazy wild danger. So the other day, the blue duck was just swimming around in his little, you know, in the Big Red Pond, just being like, might catch a fish today, might go for a pizza, can't decide which one. You know, catching a fish would be kind of the technical, you know, like the good thing to do, because morally, because, you know, it shows that I've still got what it takes, and I'm not like bowing down to the corporations, the guys that make the pizza, and I can have a fish, and I'd be like, but at the same time, I'd rather be inhumane to animals secondhand, as opposed to killing the creatures myself and eating them raw, because I don't like raw food very much. So I think I'm going to go get a pizza. So the blue duck decided to go get a pizza. So he walked into the pizza shop and was like, excuse me, sir, can I have a pizza? And the guy behind the counter was like, what kind of pizza do you want, sir? And the blue duck said, I'd like one with the most fish possible. And he said, that would be the sardine anchovy herring dish. The sardine anchovy herring dish. And Blue Duck was like, okay, sounds cool. So he ordered the sardine anchovy herring dish and sat down by a window and just looked out upon the Big Red Pond and thought about life. But then, the corner of his eye, he noticed Wobble was playing in the bad side of the pond, near the lair of the angry red duck. And Wobble was, you know, he was having a bit of fun. He was just going do 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 boo 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 boo. Drink some drink. He was very drunk. He was drinking a lot of beer that day. I have to say, really, probably too much for one duck to handle. And basically, he swam too close to the evil red duck's lair, and the red duck appeared out of nowhere, bam, and just stole Wobble. And I keep kicking the tripod because I'm spinning around. So yeah, the red duck, right? He comes out of nowhere, and he grabs Wobble by the neck and just chucks him into a cage and takes him off through the thistle bushes to his lair. And the blue duck went, oh no, my best buddy Wobble, I better go save him. He didn't actually sound like that. He was actually choking on some of his anchovies. So the blue duck waded through the bush and found his way in the lair of the red duck, who now probably represents periods. Because of all the bush references, I can't take it back now. It's just, I've dug myself a hole that I can't escape from. Anyway, and the angry red duck was keeping Wobble in a cage, you know, which makes sense because he caught him in a cage. I mean, you've already got him in a cage and you don't really have any use for him. I mean, just keep him in the cage. Maybe every now and then bring him out to wash the dishes or something. Maybe walk the puppy, you know, stuff like that. Feed the cats, stuff like that, you know. Yes, ducks do own cats. You'd be surprised how many ducks I've seen that actually own a cat, but they do own cats. And basically, this is going on a tangent now. But yeah, the blue duck was like, fuck this, and went up to the red duck and was like, listen buddy, you got my friend in that cage, I want him back, otherwise I'm gonna kick your ass all over the world. And the red duck went, oh shit, and brought out a gun. And the red duck was like, you motherfucker, I'm gonna fucking shoot a gun in your face now. And he shot, but luckily the gun backfired and it shot straight into the duck's bill, the red duck's bill, and went and shattered it, like something that would shatter easily. And so the duck now had a face like, you know, like shattered Pringles, you know. And he was so ashamed of himself that he flew off, never to be seen again, and left the key behind for the cage, luckily. And the blue duck unlocked the cage, and they all lived happily ever after, you know, celebrating gardening shears and eating pizzas. And the blue duck said, one of these days I hope this never happens again. And then all was good. Now I'm going to sing a song.